you very much. Prime Minister, you have won a massive majority, but your vote share is quite low. It's much lower in terms of voter support than Blair in 1997. You talk about the mood of the country. I think you have some ideas as to why. Can you give us one concrete thing that you will promise voters you will deliver in your first 100 days to make them believe the change message? And if you'd indulge us, millions of people saw that exit poll drop. Some of them gasped. What was your emotion when you saw it? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Look, the thing that's changed already is the mindset of government. It's a mindset of service, of country first, party second. That's not a slogan. That is the test for all of our decisions. So when submissions come to me from the Cabinet, when I've had to take decisions, which I've already had to, of course, the principle is country first, party second, and that's the driving principle. So that change has already happened. I set out before the election what our first steps will be. We've started work on those first steps. You've seen where Streeting made clear the steps he's already taking to resolve some of the issues that have been unresolved for some time, with a degree of raw honesty as well as to the state of being. So that's the mandate. That's how we go forward. And look, you know, in relation to the outcome on Thursday, it is a clear mandate. We argued for change. We've got that mandate. We've got it in for all four nations, and that is really important for us as well. I was pleased to see that exit poll. I didn't believe it until, like everybody else, I stayed up to watch every single result come in, peppered with the speeches I gave, including the one at 5 a.m. at the event that we held. But it was only as the final results came through that I was confident that we'd got to where we needed to be to do the work that we need to do. Chris, I didn't answer the second part of your... As to finding my way around, I've got a basic understanding of the rooms I've used so far here, and that's good, but there are plenty of hidden places I'm yet to discover. And no, we're not unpacked quite yet, but we will be soon, and we'll be moving in soon. But there's a bit of work to do before then. And of course, I'm off to Washington on Tuesday. Thank you very much, Beth. Robert.
Robert Gaston, ITV. Prime Minister, you talk about the need for a reset. One of the lessons of Labour governments is the need to take the tough decisions early. We've already heard from Wes Streeting that, in his view, the policy now of the NHS is that it is broken. If, in the coming weeks, as you go through department by department, you find that things are worse than you expected, are you prepared to take tough decisions early, including possibly raising more from taxation? And then secondly, just on Beth's point about how you've won the biggest majority relative to the size of the vote in history. You said yesterday that your priority would be to govern for those who didn't vote for you. Some 80% of British voters didn't vote for you. That's including those who didn't vote at all. What does that mean in practice, in a sense, for the culture of the government and how you'll govern?
Thank you, Robert. Look, in relation to the tough decisions, we're going to have to take the tough decisions and take them early, and we will. We will do that with a raw honesty. And that's really what sat behind Wes Streeting's description yesterday of the NHS as being broken. It is. Everybody who uses it and works in it knows that it is broken, and we're not going to operate under the pretense or language that doesn't express the problem as it is, because otherwise we won't be able to fix the problem as quickly as we need to. And we'll continue in that vein. There are other issues. Prisons would be an obvious example where other parts of the system are broken, and we're going to have to approach that with a raw honesty as well. And we will take the tough decisions, but that is not a sort of prelude to saying there's some tax decision that we didn't speak about before we're about to announce now. It's about the tough decisions to fix the problem of being honest about what they are. On the second part of your question, It was very important to me to say what I said on the steps yesterday about those that didn't vote for us, because we're a government of service to all people, whether they voted for us or not. And I include within that people who voted Labour for the first time on Thursday, because across the country in many places, people will have voted Labour for the first time, perhaps never having voted Labour before, and I recognise that, and that they've put their trust and confidence in us, and we have to repay that. So we hold them in our mind's eye. People who didn't vote for us need to know that we will serve them, that we will not turn our back on people just because we don't think they voted for us. We'll govern for the whole country. And that's what I meant by what I said yesterday. It's about taking the country forward and doing that, you know, in conjunction with our First Ministers, doing that in conjunction with our mayors and other elected representatives across the areas, so that we can govern for the whole of the country and take the country forward and turn our back on tribal politics and simply picking issues we want to fight just for the party politics of it. That's what's gone wrong, in my view, in the last few years, where priorities are simply set by party advantage rather than country first. And that's an example of what I mean by country first, party second. And that's the approach we'll take. Thank you.